Coming up, authorities think they know the new terrorist target in America. We have the latest on where and when terror might strike. Vandals strike a local country club, destroying much of the golf course. We'll be showing you the damage here. Plus, the heart of Texas. The Indians' former GM takes on a brand new job. You'll be hearing from him. Fox 8 News starts now. And good morning, everyone. Good to have you here with us today. America is on high alert. Tonight, a warning that terrorists could be targeting the West Coast. California's governor says that there is evidence of a terrorist plot for a rush hour attack on one of California's 4 suspension bridges next week. Gray Davis says he does not want to alarm the public, but he wants to keep them informed.
Now, it may not happen. We hope it doesn't happen. We're trying to communicate we're ready. It makes no sense for them to try this, but it's our obligation at the same time to inform the public that we're aware of this threat and they need to be aware of it.
Security has been stepped up at San Francisco's Golden Gate and Bay bridges, and also bridges in Los Angeles and San Diego. America is standing at a heightened state of alert tonight with concerns over anthrax and other possible attacks. This as Congress works to make flying safer for us. Fox News reporter Bill Prasad has tonight's newest developments for us from Washington. Bill?
Who is going to carry the load? The answer being debated in the House. On the line, an aviation security bill. Most House Democrats believe travelers would be safer if the federal government created a 28,000-person workforce of baggage screeners.
This is not a time for politics as usual. It's a time to do what is simply, obviously, right.
Many House Republicans say government supervision is enough.
All we are simply saying is that the President of the United States and his secretary, Mr. Mineta, have asked for the discretion to make that decision based upon what they view to be in the best interest of protecting safety and providing security at airports across this country.
A possible Washington connection to the anthrax spores that killed a New York woman earlier this week. The CDC says they're indistinguishable from the bacteria found in the contaminated letter sent to Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle. Traces of anthrax continue to turn up. At least 5 states and the district showing signs of the bacteria. The latest additions, Missouri and Indiana. On Capitol Hill, some senators plan to introduce a multi-billion-dollar legislative package to fight bioterrorism.
Somebody is out there with anthrax right now that we have not found, whose intent is to kill.
In the war, U.S. officials say the bombing won't stop during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, set to begin November 17th.
This is an enemy that has to be taken on aggressively and pressed to the end, and we're going to continue to do that. We have to continue the military action.
In the Gulf War, the U.S. halted its attacks during Ramadan, but history suggests there have been battles during this holy period, and in some situations, it's been Muslims fighting Muslims. In Washington, Bill Prasad, Fox News.
Thank you, Bill. Meantime, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says the United States is working to land hundreds of soldiers in Afghanistan. He says they are needed to help find bombing targets and to work with the rebels. Rumsfeld says the troops are ready to go. For continuing coverage of the terrorist attacks and how America responds to them, keep it tuned right here to Fox 8 News. We'll be bringing you the latest developments as they happen. So for complete coverage, think Fox first. In other news, no charges are expected against a driver who struck a 5-year-old boy. Jacob Duncan and his mother were walking along Neff Road. This is near their Medina County home. The boy stepped out in front of an oncoming Jeep. The driver slammed on his brakes and swerved into a ditch, but was just not able to avoid hitting Jacob. The youngster was flown to Metro Health Medical Center, where he is in guarded but stable condition this morning. Cleveland police are seeking a pair of gunmen who killed 1 teen and wounded 3 others last night. The victims were shot as they sat on a playground bench on the city's Near East Side. 18-year-old Terry Hopkins died of a chest wound. A 17-year-old friend is in serious condition. The shooting apparently followed a fight 6 hours earlier. Halloween pranksters target a suburban Cleveland country club and damage the putting greens on the club's golf course. Fox 8 News reporter Jack Shea says police are now trying to track down the bogey men who left behind some king-size divots.
Under the harvest moon, uninvited guests played around on the golf course at the Country Club of Hudson, but they were Halloween vandals and carried shovels instead of clubs.
It looks like they began on our 10th hole and basically walked the majority of the course. And every single time they stopped at a hole, they stopped and dug quite a bit out in the greens.
When the vandals were done with their overnight rampage, they had damaged the putting practice green in 15 of the 18 holes on the course. This is what the 9th green normally looks like for the club's 440 members, but this is what the 9th looked like when they showed up the day after Halloween. What was your read on the kind of person that would do something like this?
Demented, disturbed, it's hard to say. You never know why they do something like this.
A non-golfer might say, what's the big deal? Replace the soil and plant some new grass. But a putting green is a valuable piece of real estate and can take years to develop.
You have root structures, you have certain grasses, you have the bent of the grass and things like that that make it far more complicated to maintain it.
The club's insurance company has indicated that their policy will cover the cost of repairing the greens, and the groundskeepers at Hudson will now try to do some patchwork to make the course playable. As for who would be willing to expend so much energy to damage a rich guy's grass, speculation runs from mischievous teens to disgruntled former employees to a golfer who had a bad round.
Well, it'd take a pretty bad round, but we're working with the police. We've talked to them, and we're going to work with them as far as trying to figure out why someone did this and try to catch them.
And the club is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the vandals. Wilma, anyone with information is asked to call Hudson Police, and important to point out that the tipsters will remain anonymous.
Well, someone out there this morning knows the answer. We'll hopefully be hearing from them.
And they could earn $5,000, Wilma.
That's a nice incentive. All right, Jack, thanks. Jack Shea reporting for us there. A Strongsville couple is really stunned by the death of their daughter following a volleyball practice at Ohio University. Brooke Bossman had always been athletic, but 3 weeks ago, a doctor diagnosed her with asthma. Then, on Monday, the 20-year-old sophomore had trouble breathing during practice.
She was scared, and then the paramedics got there, and she was still talking to them. And everything was all right, and then once they tried to gave her the oxygen, she couldn't hold herself up anymore, and she had a seizure.
It's just so unexpected, and yeah, you bring up the question of why, and we'll never have an answer for why.
Brooke was life-flighted to university hospitals here in Cleveland, where she died 2 days later. Her parents hope that others may learn from their tragic loss. An investigation is launched after a dairy cow disappears. Stark County farmer Joel Schneider says the animal vanished 3 weeks ago. Schneider says the black Holstein was pregnant and 1 week overdue when she vanished. The farmer owns 40 other dairy cows and just cannot explain the disappearance because his farm is fenced in. Well, less than 1 week until the city of Cleveland elects a brand new mayor. Coming up, the candidates come out swinging in their final debate before Election Day. Hear from Jane Campbell and Raymond Pierce. The future looks cloudy for Miss Cleo and her psychic network. We're going to be telling you why the fortune teller is under fire. Plus, the heart of Texas. Former Tribe General Manager John Hart takes a brand new job. Hear from him coming up in Tag Team Sports. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. There's less than a week left now for mayoral hopefuls to make an impression before Cleveland voters actually hit the polls. And tonight, Jane Campbell and Raymond Pierce faced off one last time. Fox 8 News reporter Patty Lee has details of this, the last battle.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? It was the last of a series of televised debates.
He was there just a little bit ago.
And Jane Campbell and Raymond Pierce entered the studio with gloves on.
When she has all this experience and all these accomplishments that she says she has, why does it take over $1.5 million to beat Raymond Pierce?
Campbell responded her war chest was biggest because people supported her vision for the city and her ability to lead.
And they thought they could use the fact that I was running for mayor to get me to make a decision that wasn't in the best interests of Cuyahoga County for political purposes. And they found out that I don't do that.
Pierce claimed his connections through the U.S. Department of Education would bring in millions of dollars for schools.
So when I say my name alone puts Cleveland on a different radar screen, that's just it.
Campbell's plan? To work with school superintendent Barbara Byrd Bennett.
I don't need for my name to be the fancy name. She's already been recognized as the best urban educator in America.
But things got nasty towards the end when the candidates started asking each other questions.
My question to you is, do you still stand by your statement that these were very small, de minimis taxes, fishing taxes, they're just closing loopholes?
Campbell taking the opportunity to confront Pierce about a comment he made to the newspaper.
It's actually not what you said to me, because when I saw you later, I said, why'd you say I have a nanny? I got a nanny. It's my husband.
Jane, we were
check
joking.
Your facts.
We were joking, Jane. We were in the hallway joking. Yeah, we were joking.
I just think it's important to check your facts.
Okay.
I want to point out that we thoroughly broke the rules there, but I just was so fascinated.
And then it was over. The candidates shook hands, thanked the panel, and left, most likely to prepare for more campaigning. Patty Lee, Fox 8 News.
Election Day is next Tuesday. Do keep it tuned right here to Fox 8. We will have the latest for you on the Cleveland mayor's race, as well as all the other races throughout our county. Well, Miss Cleo should have seen the suit coming, and a big brawl you've got to see to believe. Those stories and much more in tonight's Fox Newsreel. And we start off at this early morning hour in Florida, where there's going to be no more shark feeding in the Sunshine State. A Fish and Wildlife Commission has voted to ban it, saying that the practice would be altering the animal's natural behavior. Still, officials say there is no evidence linking the feedings to recent shark attacks. From Colorado today, nearly 1,200 acres of land have been blackened by a wildfire there. Winds up to 50 miles per hour have driven the fire out of control and threatened up to 50 homes. There are reports that 2 homes were destroyed, but police will not confirm that. From Indonesia, a battle of words explodes into a fistfight in Parliament there. The brawl once again began after a political faction was denied the right to form a separate government. The fight broke out just moments before the president addressed the annual session. Quite a thing to see there. And in New York, even more trouble for Miss Cleo. Consumer rights officials there charged that the people behind Miss Cleo mislead customers into thinking that they could get a free psychic reading, but the psychics can only be reached by then dialing a number that cost nearly $4 a minute. The company is also accused of calling people who are on a don't call list. Well, he does it every Halloween, but this year the tradition turned tragic. Coming up, a local man who dresses as Zorro watches as a speeding car comes right at him and his prized horse. We'll tell you what happened here. Plus, Porn Wars filmmaker George Lucas wages a battle against the makers of an adult film. Stay tuned and find out why.
Well, we made it to 69 degrees today, and folks, we're still in the 60s. We'll see when November will start to act its age. Gee, Wilma, what are you looking at?
This is so cute. This is really cute. As long as you're here with us.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Look at this little guy.
For all 4 of you up at this hour.
Look at, he's sitting at a desk. This is for September, going back to school. One sample of what's in this lovely calendar.
That'll be next September. And this one has my wife Amber and our 3 dogs on the cover. We have a little extra time tonight. I thought I'd show it to you. It's available now at all discount drug markets. I'll be making a number of appearances there. You want me to sign them up?
Very nice.
And for only a couple bucks, we raised $33,000 last year on the Drug Mart calendar. Thank you, Wilma. And here we go. Okay, our terminal tower blazing away there, red, white, and blue. 66 degrees. How about that for this time of night and the, well, second day of November now? The dew point 50, humidity 56%, wind south 17. At times we're hitting 28. We figured on a windy day and 68 to 70. We wound up at 69 and 30.07 barometer. We've had no rain. That's not unexpected, and I don't I'm not sure overnight we'll see any in the viewing area, but as we head through the morning hours tomorrow, a shower here and there could thunder eventually. 6,000-foot ceiling visibility is 10 miles. We do have on Fox 8 Doppler Storm Fox coming out of Michigan, a line of showery, thundery weather that is just ahead of that front. And we did have showers closer to us. That was the basis on which we thought we might see a couple of showers overnight, but that is very problematical. The game in New York went on as scheduled, and no problems there. And you see this first area dissipating. Here's the other area of showery weather that's headed our way. There's certainly over a 50% chance we're going to see some showers tomorrow, and thunder showers. I promised Riz and John they'll get out of here by time of the Friday night football games. 65 degrees at Hopkins, 63 Chicago. This is truly remarkable, and they were in the low 70s down in southern Ohio today. The latest cloud cover, and it is extensive, so we're going to see a lot of clouds tomorrow, and otherwise quite a bit of a clear sky over the Midwest. It still looks like for the weekend we'll get into partly sunny Saturday. If not Sunday early, we'll have sunshine, and in the 50s instead of the near 70s, but not bad at all. This is Michelle, and she likely off the Yucatan now has produced more than a foot of rain over parts of Cuba. Could get another foot down there. This storm likely will take this kind of a turn and could well become a hurricane with winds in Michelle now about 65 miles an hour. People in Florida, South Florida, are going to be very alert on this one. 69 and 54, and what a late season hurricane, huh? What a hey, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, no, tonight at 10 o'clock, we're going to give you the wintertime forecast, and boy, what a start to isn't winter yet, but November certainly is a month that normally is not mild at all. But here's the front that's coming in tomorrow, and ahead of it and along the front will be that shower, thunder shower package, airflow aloft. And this is truly the key. You can't ignore the winds aloft. Been doing these for about 30 years now, and this is one of the key elements in trying to guess ahead. It's an educated guess, that's what weather is, what the temperature pattern is going to be. And as long as these winds emanate from the Pacific Ocean, it is a mild flow. And breezy, mild overnight. I don't think we're going to go below 60, folks. That puts us in pretty good stead for highs tomorrow into the 60s somewhere. And I'm going, as you'll see with the Akron-Canton here tonight, another 60. But we could go 65 to 70 tomorrow based on the front delaying its arrival. But we'll go with a 65 still for now with showers. Some thunder showers are possible. Andre very early. John Loftman noon. We'll be back tomorrow night at 10 with a winter forecast, by the way. 42 tomorrow night, partly cloudy, guys and gals. Saturday getting into partly sunny and 54. Not bad. 36 at night, so pretty snappy. Sunday, sun early. Some clouds later. By late day evening, could shower. Going into Monday as well with a bit of a turn down there. But now we're going to vote on Tuesday, aren't we, Wilma?
Yes, we are.
It looks pretty decent, partly. I had us voting this past Tuesday, in which case you would have avoided the lines.
There would have been no one there but you. But you know what? I noticed another picture. It's very appropriate. This is November. This is November, and here it is for next year. But look, isn't that how we feel right now? Isn't that how we feel right now?
Yeah, but we still can't get enough baseball, can we?
And you know what else I noticed? So many wonderful coupons on this calendar.
30 bucks worth of coupons, and it's only a couple bucks. If you don't like it, I'll buy it back. And animals make money on every calendar. The shelters. Right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, an Ashtabula man is hurt, and his prize show horse killed as they are struck by a car. 51-year-old Manny Massey was dressed as Zorro on the back of his Tennessee walking horse, worth about $10,000. Now, Massey says suddenly a car came barreling toward them along Lake Avenue.
I seen him coming and coming, and I says, geez, I didn't know whether to shoot across the road or turn around and go back, so I tried to turn around and go back, because he was just like wanted to play chicken, like to scare the horse.
It is really not clear whether or not the 21-year-old Ashtabula man who was driving the car is going to be charged. The creator of Star Wars says that he's ready to go to war with some pornographic movie makers. Coming up, does the name of an adult film come too close to the name of George Lucas's classic? The latest on this battle coming up next.
And next in tag team sports, it's back to Arizona as the World Series heats up. We've got incredible highlights.
And what a game it was. Plus, deep in the John Hart of Texas. Hear from the Rangers' new general manager when the Riz and I return.
It's the last call edition of Tag Team Sports. Tony Rizzo and John Telich up past our bedtime.
Way past our bedtime. And John Hart, by the way, will likely burn the midnight oil down in the Lone Star State in his new job. That's right. Mr. Hart made a blazingly fast transition from the Indians to his next job. The Cleveland contract expired Thursday, and on Thursday he met the media down in Texas as he is now the GM of the Rangers. Hart believes there is a lot of potential in Texas.
There's a core and a nucleus of quality players that are in place with the proper leadership, the proper tweaking of personnel. I don't think that this is a club that's that far away from contending.
Well, Riz, I don't think anyone in town suspected that this guy would be retired for a long period of time. Absolutely not. But I'm wondering what this guy is going to do in terms of the best player that he's got on his roster there that's behind the plate, the guy that can do it all. He's got A-Rod as a shortstop, but he has Pudge Rodriguez. Can he pull the trigger and make some kind of a deal? Do you think he'll do it?
Quite frankly, who cares? John Hart is now a member of the Texas Rangers. I wish him the best, but I'll tell you what, he's got a big job ahead of him. Came here to Cleveland, turned around the Indians. He finished in last place last 2 years. He's going to have the same job there in Texas with the Rangers. Seriously, Jay.
I care deeply.
Yeah, I know. You know what, though? We all knew he was going to take a gig. It was just where. Now we know it's Texas. Best of luck to John.
It's in his blood. You knew he just wouldn't go along without working. You betcha. All right.
All right, after the Game 4 heroics, Yankees had to feel like Big Mo, momentum, was on their side heading into tonight's Game 5, I should say last night's Game 5 against the Diamondbacks. Yankees down 1-0 in the 5th when Rod Barajas hits a solo home run, 2-0 Diamondbacks. But in the 9th inning, young Kim comes on in relief against Scotty Brocious, and oh, you gotta be kidding me. Second night in a row, Yankees down to their last out, and they deliver. We're tied at 2, on to the 12th. Former Indian Albie home by 2 a.m. Lopez on the hill for the Diamondbacks. There's Albie. Chuck Knobloch on second. Alfonso Soriano. Money. Base hit to right. Home comes Chucky. And the Yankees take a 3-2 lead in an unforgettable World Series. 3 nights in a row. 3 one-run wins. Game 6 Saturday in Phoenix.
Absolutely incredible, Riz. All right, a little bit closer to home. The Barons hosting Utah, and visitor Jim Montgomery got very comfortable with the Gund Arena ice. Montgomery with a pair of goals to lead Utah to a 4-1 win. Chicho, by the way, had the lone goal for the Barons, but they lose to Utah 4-1. That is your final
And that's
score.
all our time. I'll tell you, the folks in New York got treated to 3 of the best World Series games of all time.
Exactly. What a way to
Wilma
spend.
was riveted to her seat.
She was calling every move ahead of the manager.
I was. I'm getting really good, don't you think? All right. Thanks, guys. The Empire is striking back against some pornographic movie makers. George Lucas's production company is suing the adult filmmakers because of a movie they say is just too similar to Star Wars. Lucas's lawyers claim consumers could be confused into thinking that Lucasfilm sponsored or produced the X-rated film, but the porn company says the animated film is just a parody and is protected under First Amendment laws. That's a report of Fox 8 News King of the Hill coming up next. Thanks for the welcome into your home. Sleep well. We'll see you in a few hours. Good night, everybody.